This is Coach on a Couch, or more specifically, Coach on a Bench. On Zaleski Sports, I'm Bob Bradovich, joined by Tom Westcott, head coach at Eau Claire Memorial. Your third season as the head coach after a number of years as an assistant. What's the biggest difference going into your third year compared to going into that year one?
Year one, it was hurry up and get ready. It was already at the end of May. Year one, we've had multiple seasons to be able to have our leadership council development, our weight room, our sprint and conditioning programs well in place. So by now the boys are used to what we're expecting, and we're seeing it on the field already on day 3.
This is year 2 at this facility. What was your takeaway from last year? First year at this facility, being on campus. To me, at all your home games, it just seemed like there was a really good buzz. Didn't matter what week it was just a good buzz, and there was just good energy around it. What did you see from your standpoint, and what did the kids feel about it?
My biggest point of reference is when I was coaching up in North Dakota. Friday nights were the thing. The town shut down, and everyone was at the field. And it felt much like that here last year for our first full season on turf. And I think that's just what this is. It's a community center point for Eau Claire Memorial, current, past, and present. Students and teachers and families, it's great.
Yeah, I noticed that too. A lot of alums, guys that I remember from 5, 10, sometimes 15, 20 years ago, wanted to come back and wanted to reconnect. And that's important when you're building a program.
Most certainly. And we have a family night. The first day we have full pads, so we invite alumni to come down, watch the current Old Abes scrimmage each other, have some hot dogs, watch some highlights, and it's a great opportunity for alumni to have a reunion together.
Start putting out hot dogs, the media's going to show up. Talk a little bit about last year, just the one win, although you were close in a number of games. Biggest takeaways from last year?
The biggest thing that we learned from last year is that we get to have a maniacal attention to detail this year. Some of the little things dropped off when we got tired. Well, focus on them again this year.
You run an up-tempo offense, and that attention to detail is key, because you're looking to tire the other team's defense out. At the same time, it can be tiring for your guys, and that's where a lot of the mental mistakes. What did you do in the offseason, or what are you doing in the early days of practice to make sure that you are in shape to run the offense the way you'd like to?
We're shifting we shifted our offseason and our practice structure based on what's called sprint-based football. So we're taking a track approach and how track trains to football. So we're focused on explosive speed rather than long distance running and conditioning. So we want short explosive movements. We want our guys to be fresh and ready to go.
Like every high school program, you lose guys to graduation. You lose good players, starters, guys who've been with the program a while. There's always that new group coming in. But you do return some kids that saw plenty of time in these past years, especially at some key positions. Can you single out a couple guys that you're going to look to one, provide that leadership, and two, maybe provide those big plays that every football team needs?
Jackson Zuliger is number 1 in terms of he's returning as a defensive back and as a wide receiver. He's going to be going to Drake next year once he graduates from Memorial, so he is a great student athlete, and we're lucky to have him on our team and his leadership as well. Another kid is Marcus Holmberg. He tore his ACL in the final game of the year last year against DC Everest, and he's been absolutely phenomenal in his rehab process and his leadership, even though he was on crutches most of the time this winter. But he's ready to go, and looks like he'll be ready to go for week 1 as well. And lastly is Silas Bonner. He played left tackle for us last year and defensive line, but we're going to move him over to an eligible position, so we're excited to see what a 6'3", 240-pound guy can do in space.
When you look at the conference, Wisconsin Valley, always tough. Where do you see the Old Abes in that mix?
Hope springs eternal, honestly. I think because of last year's growth and how close we were, except for a few mistakes that we made, I think we're right in the middle of the pack. I think we can really jump on some teams and surprise quite a few.
How would you define a successful season for the Old Abes?
I want to see that maniacal attention to detail in everything that we do. All about the process of getting better as a program. I won't give you wins and losses, but I think we're going to continue to go from high effort to high attention to detail, and we'll see it translate on the scoreboard.
And you know how it is. You've been around football your whole life. Oftentimes, if you can get a win early, the buy-in gets better and the belief gets better. Is that something, I could think of a couple games last year where it's like, if they could have won that one, who knows what trajectory that sets you on?
Sure, most certainly. And we open up with two tough competitors, New Richmond and Chippewa Falls. And Coach Rako, Coach Larson have great programs. They've been doing what they do for quite a bit of time. I think if we continue to show that we can compete with top-tier opponents, that we will keep that progress and that momentum moving forward into September.
Early in the first week of practice, but what's the energy level? What are the numbers like for you guys?
I'll say what the boys have said. They say it's electric right now, which I love it. There is a great buzz. We've got baseball kids doing walk-up music, or they're doing their batting stuff when they make a big play. It's a lot of fun. Numbers-wise, we're about where we were at last year. We're floating around 85.
Okay, you will scrimmage on the 14th.
Yep.
On Friday right here. You've got Marshfield coming over. You've got Holman and Mondovi. Same group that you had last year. What are you hoping to get out of that?
Each of those teams provide a different look for us, but I really love Mondovi and Holman's physicality. And so to have two teams that run offenses that we don't see a ton of is great for our defense, and I love their physicality. So I want to start off going into New Richmond already having that game experience against teams that won't back down, and I'm excited for that.
Tom, we are excited to be covering the Old Abes this year. We'll be here at the scrimmage on the 14th. We'll be making the trip to New Richmond, and then, of course, the home game that you have with Chippewa and all the home games after that. We're looking forward to it.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Appreciate your time. That is Coach on a Couch with Eau Claire Memorial's Tom Westcott.